Ever wondered how millions of products are made at insane speeds? From everyday items to the most unusual, factories work non-stop to meet demands. So, let's dive into the most mind-blowing mass productions. Contact lenses are tiny, delicate, but still are being produced on a mind-blowing scale. Global production exceeds 1 billion lenses yearly, with industry giants like Johnson & Johnson producing 50 to 100 million pairs annually. A single Korean factory outputs an incredible 1 million lenses monthly, transforming raw materials into precision optical devices. These facilities process 10 tons of specialized hydrogel polymers monthly, shaped in massive 1-ton drums. The production pace is mesmerizing, with cast molding lines producing a new lens every 10 to 15 seconds, completing batches of 10,000 lenses in under 3 hours. Modern facilities span 30,000 square meters, housing 100 molding machines and sterilization units that process 50,000 lenses per cycle using 10,000 liters of steam daily. Artificial turf production literally rolls out green carpets at an astonishing scale. The global industry manufactures over 200 million square meters annually, with a single facility outputting 5 million square meters yearly. These plants consume 20,000 tons of polyethylene pellets annually, melting them into 50 kilometers of synthetic yarn daily. The tufting machines spanning 100 meters weave 1,000 square meters of turf hourly, stitching an incredible 500,000 grass blades per minute. These manufacturing behemoths occupy 80,000 square meters with 2 kilometers of internal conveyors. Finished turf leaves the factory in 4-meter wide rolls, with one plant producing 1,000 rolls daily, each weighing 200 kilograms and shipped in 50 truck batches weekly. Silicone prosthetics production combines precision engineering with artistic craftsmanship at scale. Specialized manufacturers produce 100,000 prosthetic limbs yearly worldwide, with a single facility crafting 10,000 units annually. These plants use 50 tons of medical-grade liquid silicone, with pigments for realistic skin tones consuming 1,000 liters weekly. Over 1,000 unique 3D scans are processed monthly using high-resolution scanners, with each prosthetic mold requiring 3 kilograms of silicone. While hand-painting a single prosthesis takes 6 hours, automated pouring systems help factories batch produce 100 shells daily. These specialized workshops, equipped with 30 curing ovens and minimum 50 skilled artisans, applying finished touches to these life-changing products. Bowling ball manufacturing definitely can hit a strike in a balance between mass production and precision. The industry produces 2 million balls annually, with companies like Brunswick manufacturing 500,000 balls yearly. These facilities use 5,000 tons of polyester or urethane resin monthly, plus 1,000 metric tons of dense materials for weighing blocks. Molding machines cast 1 ball every 5 minutes, completing batches of 500 balls in a 2-day shift. A bowling ball factory housing 75 molding presses and curing ovens that process 10 tons of material daily. The shipping operation is equally impressive. Finished balls weighing 7 kilograms each are shipped in pallets, with one plant dispatching 200 pallets weekly to keep bowling alleys around the world supplied. But did you know that frying pan production can surprise with industrial efficiency? As a single factory produces 1 million pans annually, contributing to the global output of 100 million aluminum cookware items yearly. These facilities process 2,000 tons of aluminum ingots annually, melted in massive 50-ton furnaces. The manufacturing power is massive, with hydraulic presses weighing 100 tons stamp 1,000 pan blanks per hour from aluminum sheets, completing batches of 10,000 pans in just 2 days. Plus, daily production requires 500 meters of non-stick coating, covering 5,000 pans, while massive curing ovens bake 2,000 pans per cycle at scorching temperatures of 400 degrees Celsius. Witness the pearl farming revolution. Massive cultured pearl production facilities can create up to 5 million pearls annually. These astounding factories produce 15,000 pearls per day, with each piece requiring 7 to 30 layers of pearlescent coating. A single factory can produce 1,200 pearl cores daily, dipping them into essence extracted from fish scales. The specialized coating machines apply layers at incredible speeds. Just 5 minutes between coats, meaning a complete pearl with 15 layers is finished in only 75 minutes. Lighter production is a non-stop industrial powerhouse, making them one of the most mass-produced customer items in the world. The largest factories can manufacture 2 million lighters per day, meaning every 0.04 seconds a new lighter is completed. Each batch of 100,000 lighters requires 5,000 liters of butane gas and 20 tons of plastic. The gas injection process is incredibly fast, filling 1,000 lighters per minute. In just 1 week, a single facility can produce enough lighters to supply an entire small country. From production to packaging, one lighter is fully assembled, tested, and packed in under 1 minute. Work gloves are an industrial necessity, so factories are creating them at an astonishing rate, with major manufacturers producing over 10 million pairs per month. A single factory can churn out 500,000 pairs per day, with production lines dipping 1,000 gloves per minute in protective coatings like latex or nitrile. To meet demand, factories consume over 100,000 kilograms of raw cotton and synthetic fibers per week, enough to cover several football fields. The drying and curing process is rapid, with gloves ready for packaging in just 2 hours. Each batch of 50,000 gloves is packed and shipped out in under a single shift, ensuring that industries never run out of this essential safety gear. Money makes the world go round, but have you ever wondered how massive it is? Global currency printing facilities produce over 150 million banknotes, with some factories printing 40,000 bills per hour. In 1 year, the world prints over 50 billion banknotes, requiring special cotton linen paper. These plants consume 85 tons of specialized cotton linen paper daily. Each batch of 100,000 bills consumes 250 kilograms of ink and goes through multiple layers of security printing in just 30 minutes. A single factory can produce up to 6 million banknotes per shift, enough to fill an entire vault every day. Despite this mass production, banknotes are so durable that some stay in circulation for over a decade before needing replacement. Balloons might seem simple, but factories pump out over 1 billion balloons per year. The largest manufacturers produce over 3 million balloons per day, using over 100,000 liters of liquid latex every 24 hours. Each batch of 500,000 balloons is completed in just 8 hours, with the latex drying and solidifying in less than 5 minutes per balloon. Fun fact, the balloon industry uses so much latex that it accounts for 15% of the world's natural latex consumption. A single latex tree can produce enough material for 40,000 balloons per year, meaning thousands of these trees are needed to keep up with production. Toothbrushes flood the globe at insane rates. One factory pumps out 20,000 daily. That's 7.3 million yearly, using 500 kilograms of plastic and 200 kilograms of nylon bristles per batch. Each batch of 1,000 finishes in 10 minutes. Globally, 3.5 billion brushes roll out annually, devouring 70,000 tons of materials. Only Colgate's plants alone crank out 1.5 billion yearly, enough to stretch twice around Earth's equator. That's toothbrush production on a colossal scale, keeping smiles bright worldwide. Suitcases fuel travel dreams, with factories producing over 100 million yearly. Leading manufacturers churn out 300,000 suitcases per week, each factory making 50,000 daily. A batch of 10,000 suitcases demand 15,000 kilograms of polycarbonate and 5,000 meters of fabric lining. These travel buddies are assembled and packaged in under 4 hours per batch. The industry swallows 1.5 million tons of raw materials annually, enough to build a luggage fortress. One factory's weekly output could equip every passenger on 500 jumbo jets, rolling off the line at impressive speed. Light bulbs brighten the world, thanks to the factories pumping out 20 billion yearly. Major plants produce 1 million bulbs per day, using 50,000 kilograms of glass and 2,000 kilograms of metal per day. A batch of 200,000 incandescent bulbs is blown, wired, and boxed in just 3 hours, which is lightning fast. Globally, bulb making consumes 1 million tons of glass annually and tungsten wire, stretched so thin that it could wrap around the Earth twice. One facility's output could illuminate every home in a mid-sized country weekly, proving this glowing giant never dims on scale. Powering our devices demands colossal production, as only Duracell and Energizer produce over 6 million AA batteries annually worldwide, with single plants making 1 to 2 million batteries per day. Each AA battery requires 25 grams of materials, meaning annual raw material usage exceeds 150,000 tons. High-speed production lines create a battery every 1 to 2 seconds, with batches of 10,000 units completed in under an hour. All that needs to take place, so battery plants are enormous, spanning 30 to 60,000 square meters with massive electrode production areas. Rolling mills and sealing machines produce an incredible 50,000 to 100,000 units per hour. That's nearly 28 batteries every second. I bet you didn't realize that wet wipe production is cleaning up on a massive scale. Global output reaches 60 billion wipes yearly, with top plants producing 10 million packs monthly. That's 500 million individual wipes. A factory unrolls an astounding 50 kilometers of non-woven fabric daily, weighing 20 tons. Liquid requirements are equally impressive. Mixing vats process 100,000 liters of cleansing solution per day, flowing through 1,000 meters of piping. Slitting machines slice through 1 million square meters of fabric weekly, while automated stackers fold and package 500,000 wipes per hour. Instant noodles feed millions daily, and their production is as fast as their cooking time. With global output exceeding 120 billion servings annually, China's top factories produce 2 million packs daily. A single plant consumes 1,000 tons of wheat flour per day, stored in massive 50-meter silos. But the frying process is just as impressive, as industrial fryers use 20,000 liters of palm oil daily, recycled across multiple batches for efficiency. High-powered steamers process 500 kilograms of dough per minute, feeding continuous noodle extruders. In the end, the distribution scale is mind-boggling, as one facility fills 100 shipping containers daily, each holding 20,000 packs of this convenient meal. Soap production is a really bubbly process, with factories churning out millions of bars every week. Only Unilever's largest plants produce 2 million bars weekly, mixing 50-ton batches of soap base daily. A single facility consumes 500 tons of palm oil monthly, delivered in 20,000-liter tankers. The saponification process runs 24/7, with reactors processing 10,000 kilograms of raw mix per hour at 90 degrees Celsius. Cutting machines slice 1,000 bars per minute before wrapping lines take over. Finally, finished bars fill 15,000 square meters of climate-controlled warehouses, ready to keep the world squeaky clean. Football production scores big on manufacturing scale. Sialkot, Pakistan, produces 40 million footballs annually, supplying an incredible 70% of the world's demand. These factories cut through 100,000 square meters of synthetic leather weekly, delivered in massive 10-ton rolls. But also human touch remains important, with over 20,000 skilled artisans hand-stitch 10,000 balls daily during peak World Cup seasons. The inflation process keeps up with the scale, with machines pumping up 50,000 rubber bladders per day, using 10,000 cubic meters of air. One plant alone ships 500,000 balls monthly in 50 container batches, keeping the beautiful game supplied worldwide. Before getting on your wheels, the tires roll out from an impressive production facility. Bridgestone's top plants produce 50 million tires yearly, with daily output exceeding 150,000 units. A factory stores 10,000 metric tons of natural rubber on site, processed in enormous 100-ton mixers. The reinforcement is mind-blowing, as tire plants use 1,000 kilometers of steel cord weekly, delivered on 50-ton spools. Industrial curing presses, each weighing 50 tons, shape and vulcanize 500 tires daily at 170 degrees Celsius. Moreover, the facilities themselves are gigantic, as a single plant spans 1 square kilometer with 5 kilometers of internal conveyor belts, moving materials and finished products. Look into the reflection of industrial power, where each massive factory produces 2 million square meters of mirror glass yearly, enough to cover 280 football fields. Each plant melts 50,000 tons of silica sand annually in 100-ton furnaces, creating endless glass sheets. To make them reflective, 10-meter tons of silver nitrate are sprayed onto the surface in 1,000-liter batches. Automated lines cut 5,000 square meters of glass per day, with lasers slicing at 100 cuts per minute. The entire process takes place in sprawling 60,000 square meter plants, where mirrors roll down 500-meter-long conveyor systems for coating and drying. Match production ignites impressive numbers, where factories produce 500 billion made matchsticks per year. To keep up, factories process 1,000 cubic meters of poplar or pine wood every month. The chemical magic happens when these sticks are dipped into 5,000 liters of phosphorus and potassium chlorate solution weekly. Over 500 workers hand-pack 1 million matchboxes daily, each holding 40 to 50 sticks. And with manual production lines filing 20,000 boxes per hour, these tiny fire starters ship out in massive 50,000 box pallets every week. Ever thought about how massive carpet production is? A single factory produces a staggering 1 million square meters of carpets yearly, with some rugs packing 9,600 threads per square meter. These massive operations consume 5,000 tons of polyester or wool yarn annually, enough to spin 1,000 kilometers of thread every day. Industrial looms work at lightning speed, weaving 500 square meters per hour, completing a 10-meter-long carpet in just 2 hours. Meanwhile, dye vats handle 20,000 liters of color daily, soaking 50 tons of fiber every week. All of this happens in enormous facilities with rows of looms and drying racks stretching 2 kilometers long. Synthesizer production performs really scale manufacturing. Only major factories like Yamaha produce 100,000 synthesizers yearly, with a single production line outputting 500 units weekly. These facilities assemble 10 million electronic components annually, including 1 million keys and 500,000 microchips, shipped in 50-ton batches. Machines etch 1,000 printed circuit boards daily, attaching an incredible 50,000 components per hour. Moreover, technicians test 200 units per shift, calibrating 10,000 sound samples per synthesizer in specialized soundproof chambers. These operations span with 300-meter-long conveyor belts moving instruments through final assembly before they create music worldwide. Your phone's screen protector might seem small, but the industry behind it is massive. Every year, factories pump out a staggering 1 billion tempered glass protectors, with a single Chinese plant producing 10 million units per month. To make them, factories process 20,000 tons of ultra-tough aluminosilicate glass sliced from 2-meter-wide sheets. The The magic happens in the tempering process, with ovens blasting 50,000 glass pieces per day at 700 degrees Celsius, consuming a shocking 100,000 kilowatts of energy per week. High-precision CNC machines then cut 1 million protectors daily, each sheet yielding 200 units in just 5 minutes. And when it's all done, 500,000 protectors are packed per day, wrapped in anti-static film, and shipped in massive 100,000 unit containers every week. When it comes to keeping massive ships in place, anchors are built to be beasts. A single shipyard producing 1,000 anchors per year, each weighing between 1 to 20 tons. With the steel needed, a jaw-dropping 50,000 tons per year, shaped by 100 tons forging presses. The anchor chains alone stretch 10 kilometers per month, with 50-ton links forged at a scorching 1,200 degrees Celsius. Casting a single 10-ton anchor takes 48 hours from molding to cooling, with factories pumping out 10 massive anchors per week. And all this happens inside giant foundries covering 50,000 to 100,000 square meters, where 30-ton cranes lift these metal monsters into place. What gives whiskey and wine that rich, smoky flavor? It all starts with oak barrels, and factories are rolling them out in huge numbers. American cooperatives alone produce 2 million barrels yearly, with a single shop crafting 50,000 barrels for distilleries. That takes 20,000 cubic meters of oak annually, and each tree aged 100 years before becoming a barrel. Moving to toasted kilns, where 500 barrels per day are roasted at 200 degrees Celsius, releasing flavor-packed vapors. And let's not forget the metal, with 1,000 tons of steel hoops are hammered onto barrels at a rate of 200 per hour. Once finished, these barrels stack up in warehouses covering 10,000 square meters, aging to perfection before hitting the world's finest distilleries. Ever wondered how Pringles get their perfect shape? It all happens in massive factories where 3 million cans are made every day. That's 300 million chips annually per plant. The process starts with 50,000 tons of potatoes mashed into dough. Then, giant fryers cook 1,000 kilograms of chips per hour, using 5,000 liters of oil daily. Each chip is precisely stacked before 100,000 cans per day roll down a 500-meter production line. And when it's ready, 1 million cans per week head out in 50-truck convoys loaded with 20,000 cans each. Now, who else suddenly wants a snack? A simple wooden table? More like a high-speed masterpiece. A single furniture factory produces 50,000 tables per year, with 200 units made daily. To do that, they process 5,000 cubic meters of hardwood annually, slicing it into 100,000 planks monthly. Next, automated sanders smooth out 500 tabletops per day, covering 1,000 square meters of surface area. Then, with a magic touch of 2,000 liters of red liqueur is sprayed weekly, coating 1,000 tables in their signature color. The whole process happens in giant workshops spanning up to 20,000 square meters, where 50 CNC routers carve out every perfect detail. Chewing gum production is making bubbles bigger than you think. The global industry produces 500,000 tons of gum yearly, with a single plant making 50,000 kilograms daily. These factories melt 10,000 tons of synthetic resin annually, mixed in massive 5-ton vats. The extrusion process can impress, with machines pushing out 1,000 kilograms of gum hourly, forming 1 million individual pieces daily. The coating operation adds flavor, with sugar coating drums processing 500,000 pieces per batch, using 1,000 liters of flavored syrup daily. After all, automated packaging lines wrap an astonishing 2 million pieces per day, with 50,000 box pallets shipped weekly to satisfy the world's chewing habits. 1 million stainless steel spoons are made every year, and 100,000 of them are given the royal treatment, with 24-karat gold plating. That's 50 kilograms of gold covering 10,000 spoons per batch in 1,000-liter galvanic baths. This isn't just any regular spoon factories, as they process 500 tons of stainless steel annually, turning them into 5 million spoon blanks. Once plated, 50,000 spoons are polished daily, smoothing out 1,000 kilograms of steel in the process. This production is anything but luxury. Sweet production rising by the millions. As a single automated bakery births 100,000 cakes daily, that's more celebratory desserts than most bakeries create in their lifetime. The flour processing never stops as 50 tons vanish daily into 10-ton mixing monsters, creating 20,000 liters of batter, enough to fill a whole backyard pool. The transformation happens in half-kilometer ovens, where 5,000 cake embryos mature hourly at 180 degrees. These mechanical pastry chefs pipe 2,000 liters of frosting daily onto 50,000 cakes with surgical precision. As 10,000 finished celebrations roll off packaging lines hourly, 50,000 units depart weekly, enough cake to mark birthdays, weddings, and random Tuesday afternoon cravings worldwide. The hot dogs parade never ends. A major sausage factory churns out 50,000 tons of sausages annually, which means a whopping 200 million sausages every year. The plant processes 100 tons of pork, beef, or chicken daily, storing it in massive 50-ton refrigerated silos. The sausage-making machines are speedy. 1,000 kilograms of sausage mix gets stuffed into casings per minute, producing 500,000 sausages daily. The smoking chambers don't rest either, producing 20 tons per batch and using 10,000 cubic meters of steam weekly. With factory sizes ranging from 40,000 to 80,000 square meters, there's a lot of room for the 2 kilometers of chilling tunnels. Witness a huge production of unbreakable rainbow feasts for the young diners. A single silicone plate factory produces a staggering 2 million silicone plates annually, with a daily output of 5,000 units, primarily for children's tableware. The plant processes 100 tons of food-grade silicone each year, molded into 1-ton batches. Hydraulic presses are key, forming 1,000 plates per hour, curing 500 kilometers of silicone at 180 degrees Celsius per cycle. When it comes to color, 500 liters of pigment are blended weekly to create the vibrant hues of 50,000 plates. The workshop itself spans 5,000 to 10,000 square meters, packed with 20 molding machines and cooling racks. The auto industry is an absolute leader, producing a whopping 80 million vehicles annually, with a single plant like Toyota's assembling 1,000 cars every day. The scale of steel usage is mind-blowing. 50,000 tons annually, pressed into 5 million parts from 100-ton coils. Robotic assembly lines work at lightning speeds, welding a car body every 60 seconds, with 500 cars completed per shift across 1 kilometer of conveyors. The painting process is no less impressive, with 10,000 liters of paint applied daily, coating 2,000 cars in intricate multi-layer finishes. Plus, car factories are massive, spanning 500,000 to 1 million square meters, employing 5,000 workers and around 1,000 robots. In the world of playing cards, only a single factory like Cartamundi produces a staggering 100 million decks annually, with 300,000 decks rolling off the lines every single day. These factories process an intense 5,000 tons of cardstock every year, cut from massive 1 million square meter rolls. The printing presses run at an impressive speed, producing 50,000 sheets per hour, with each speed yielding 54 cards, resulting in 27 million cards daily. Guillotines slice through stacks of cards with pinpoint precision, collating and boxing 100 decks every minute. For such scales, these factories feature 500-meter-long finishing lines.
Now, do you see your card here?
No.
KitKat chocolate bars are really conquering the world with its scale. A single Nestlé factory orchestrates 1 million bars daily, contributing to a global chocolate army 17 billion strong annually. The chocolate river never stops as 50 tons melt weekly, coursing through 1,000 meters of heated pipes. The wafer backbone forms at equally impressive rates. 10,000 kilograms of batter bakes daily into crispy sheets, layered into 500,000 bars per shift. The wrapping process moves at mind-boggling speed, with machines embracing 2,000 bars every minute, consuming 1 kilogram of foil daily. As this chocolate army marches forth, a single factory dispatches 50 million bars monthly in 100 trucks, each loaded with 500,000 snacks, enough to give every New York citizen a chocolate break twice over. Moving to the world of stainless steel taps, where a single factory churns out 500,000 taps yearly, with 2,000 units rolling off the assembly line daily. To forge these sleek and durable taps, the plant processes 1,000 metric tons of stainless steel annually, melting it in 10-ton furnaces. Factory lathes work at full speed, shaping 5,000 components daily, drilling out 1,000 tap bodies per hour with precision. Then buffing machines polish 500 kilograms of steel daily, ensuring each tap gets that signature mirror-like finish. Moreover, the factory itself spans 15,000 to 30,000 square meters with 50 casting molds and 100 assembly stations to meet demand. This famous black bubbly tide never recedes, as Coca-Cola produces 120 billion liters annually, enough to fill 48,000 Olympic swimming pools. A single bottling factory pumps out 2 million liters daily, which is one person's lifetime supply every 30 minutes. The sugary alchemy happens in massive chambers. Each facility dissolves 10,000 tons of sugar yearly in 50,000-liter tanks, preparing the world's most guarded flavor formula. The bottling mastery moves at superhuman speed as 2,000 containers fill every minute, with 1 million bottles marching off 500-meter-long conveyors daily. The thirst requires 5 million liters of purified water daily. As 50 million bottles depart monthly on 200 truck convoys, each loaded with 25,000 containers, they fuel everything from your local store to every giant grocery store chain worldwide. Production of steel cable is more than impressive. The factories of these strength givers of modern civilization spin 50,000 tons of wire rope yearly, 10,000 kilometers of twisted metal lifelines that lift elevators, support bridges, and secure oil rigs. The transformation begins with 60,000 tons of raw steel, stretched into 1 million kilometers of wire, enough to circle Earth 25 times before winding onto 50-ton spools. Stranding machines twist 500 meters of rope per minute, braiding 100 tons of wires daily into perfect helical strength. But before leaving, these metal serpents receive armor. 5,000 liters of specialized grease weekly ensures they'll survive decades of tension. The solar industry powers us up with over 200 million panels annually, with a massive factory like Jinko Solar churning out 50,000 panels per day. To make that happen, 100,000 tons of polysilicon are processed yearly, melted in 50-ton furnaces to create 1 million wafers per month. Automated assembly lines laminate one panel every 20 seconds, producing 10,000 panels daily across 1 kilometer of conveyor belts. These factories consume 20,000 tons of tempered glass annually, cutting 2-meter-long sheets for 500,000 panels. These high-tech plants cover 50,000 to 100,000 square meters with 500 robotic arms soldering solar cells non-stop. Casio pumps out a jaw-dropping 10 million G-Shock watches every year, with a single factory assembling thousands of units daily. These durable watches are built from 50 million tiny parts annually, including 1 million shock-resistant modules shipped in 10-ton batches. Every day, 16,438 G-Shock watches emerge from this technological temple, each a precise amalgamation of 50 grams of resin and 20 grams of stainless steel. While human artisans spent 20 minutes crafting each watch by hand, robotic assembly lines have mastered a 2-minute symphony of precision, breathing life into 480 watches per shift. Ever wanted to hold a real Bitcoin? Well, special minting facilities produce 100,000 solid gold Bitcoin coins every year. Each one is crafted from 99.99% pure gold, weighing 28.35 grams. To keep up with demand, a single facility melts 3 tons of gold annually, using 1-ton crucibles to cast 50,000 coins per month. High-powered hydraulic presses stamp 500 coins per hour, finishing a 10,000 coin batch in just a few days, which is 500 kilograms of gold per run. Precision lasers engrave 1,000 coins per day, creating those crisp Bitcoin details in just 5 seconds per coin. And all this happens inside secure minting facilities spanning 5,000 to 10,000 square meters, guarded like a military base. Would you believe that around 1 billion bidet toilets are produced every year? Only manufacturers like Toto produce 1 million bidet toilets annually, with a single plant churning out 5,000 units daily. Factories fire 10,000 tons of porcelain every year, molding them into 500,000 bowls in colossal 50-ton kilns. Advanced assembly lines integrate 1 million heating elements and sensors yearly. 2,000 units get wired daily along 300-meter production zones. Rigorous testing flushes out defects using 50,000 liters of water daily on 5,000 units. Plus, these high-tech plants span 60,000 square meters and employ 100 robotic arms for precision installation. A single factory produces 2 million fire extinguishers each year, with 10,000 units rolling off the line daily. To build these life-saving devices, the plant processes 5,000 tons of steel annually, stamping 1 million cylinders from 20-ton sheets. High-speed machines inject 50,000 kilograms of dry powder or CO2 daily, filing 5,000 extinguishers per shift. Skilled workers assemble 10,000 valves daily, while automated torque machines secure 1,000 valves per hour. All of this happens in facilities, complete with 500-meter-long test ranges. The toothpaste industry churns out 20 billion tubes annually, with a powerhouse plant like Colgate's making 1 million tubes daily. These factories blend 10,000 tons of abrasives, fluoride, and water in massive 5-ton vats. Its filling machines pack 500 tubes per minute, producing 50,000 kilograms of paste every day. Meanwhile, extruders form 2 million aluminum or plastic tubes daily, consuming 1,000 tons of material monthly. These sprawling facilities also use 1 kilometer of conveyors, keeping your smile bright. Within the global cosmetics colossus, 1.5 billion lipsticks annually paint the world with possibility. Only L'Oreal's 100,000 square meter Suzhou Wonderland contributes 821,918 units daily. The industry's need for beauty devours 30,000 tons of waxes and 20,000 tons of oils yearly, while machines mold 1,000 lipsticks per minute, with a batch of 100,000 completed in just 2 hours. Mixing tanks blend 500 liters of pigments daily to offer 1 million shades a year. To set every perfect pout, these modern lipstick plants include 50 cooling tunnels. In the luminous world of LED manufacturing, specialized facilities produce 100 million meters of neon tape every year, with almost 5,000 meters coming off the line daily. To create the vibrant glow, each factory extrudes 500 tons of flexible silicone daily, forming 100,000 meters of tape each month. Machines mix 1,000 liters of luminescent pigments weekly, illuminating 50,000 meters of tape. Then a roller slices 10,000 meters per day into neat 15-meter rolls, with 200 rolls packed every hour. Polystyrene box production packs a punch with scale. The industry molds over 5 billion units yearly, with Dart container alone creating 1 billion boxes annually. That's 2.74 million containers daily. These foam factories process 150,000 tons of polystyrene beads yearly in massive 92,903 square meter facilities. Production moves at lightning speed, with molding machines pumping out 2,880 boxes daily per unit, keeping the world's products safely cushioned. Extension cord production really extends the numbers. Global output exceeds 100 million units yearly, with Southwire alone crafting 20 million cords annually, which is 54,795 power extensions daily. These electrical giants process 200,000 tons of copper and 300,000 tons of transparent plastics yearly in enormous 139,354 square meter facilities. Assembly lines move at high voltage, producing 500 cords hourly, with each plant connecting 12,000 new power solutions daily. Dry ice production is astonishingly cool. The global industry freezes up a mind-blowing 10 million tons yearly, with giants like Praxair producing 500 tons daily. These frosty factories transform liquid CO2 in massive quantities. Creating 1 ton of dry ice demands 1.5 tons of liquid CO2. Inside massive 50,000 square meter facilities, high-capacity pelletizers pump out 750 kilograms hourly under a crushing 60 tons of pressure, while storage tanks hold up to 500 tons of liquid CO2 on site. Mattress production never sleeps. The global industry crafts an incredible 80 million units annually, with Tempur Sealy alone creating 4 million mattresses yearly. These comfort factories devour up to 1.2 million tons of foam and 800,000 metric tons of steel annually. Moreover, automated lines assemble a mattress every 10 minutes, with machines stitching 2,000 perfect patterns per mattress, while spring coilers wind 100 coils per minute. Large oil tank production holds massive numbers. Such industry welds together 70,000 industrial giants yearly, with single factories like KBK Industries crafting 1,000 mammoth tanks annually. Each 50,000-liter tank demands 20 tons of carbon steel, processed in enormous 100,000 square meter facilities, where automated welders slip along at 15 meters per minute, laying down up to 1,000 meters of precise welds per tank, while coating systems applying protective layers just 0.30 millimeters thick. And that's where our production comes to an end. Don't forget to leave a comment and tell us which scale of production impressed you the most. And don't forget to click these useful like and subscribe buttons. See you in the next videos. Bye!